Hey, morning, everyone. Well, afternoon for you guys. Sorry. Um, Everything's looking really good today. We're going straight to YouTube, but we'll just wait for everyone else to join before we kick things off. Geraldine, did you want to share the slides as well, or do you want me to do that from my end?
Um, I can share them. Um, yeah, or actually, since you're running all the
I can't hear you, sorry.
Hi. Oh, I'm not muted. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, sorry, that was me. That was me not having my sound on. Sorry.
No worries. Um, yeah, if you're running the booth, you can share the slides as well. That um is that okay? Or is it easier if I do it?
I can do it from my end, and then just whoever's speaking, just tells me, and I can do it all from
Yeah,
here.
cool. That way if one of my children wakes up, um I can disappear and not be missed.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, cool. Going to share this one. Get a little bit bigger.
Are we giving people a couple of minutes?
Yep,
Couple
I
of
think so.
Yeah,
Yeah, we'll just wait a little bit longer. And what I might do is just keep this like this, and then just refresh at the last minute to make sure we capture any last minute changes.
all right, one more minute, and then we'll get started. All right,
Um,
shall we?
Slideshow.
Yes. All right. Hi everyone. Welcome to the wrap up for the second day of the hackathon. You all are way ahead of certainly of me personally. I'm in Boston, so it just turned to Tuesday. So well done you all on being a whole day ahead of everybody else. I hope you've been having a productive time and also an enjoyable experience. Hopefully getting work done and learning things and hopefully not banging your heads in frustration too much, though that's kind of part and parcel. Yeah, I see some heads. Yep, yep. But yeah, so since most of you, many of you have been through a whole second day, some of you in Australia are still working through the day. You probably have a couple more hours left in you. But this is kind of the meeting point where we're going to do a little our little wrap up and checkpoint to see where everybody is at. So yeah, so we've got slides from everyone. We're going to run through that now. First, Chris, go ahead and next slide. First, I want to call out there's actually two projects that were added after we did the presentation wrap up yesterday. So we have a project from the site in Pakistan led by Munib Nasir, who I don't think is on the call right now. But we wanted to highlight that this project was added, and he's been adding some new modules and encountering some stress with NF test, which we've all been there. I think we all sympathize. So excellent meme game right there. The second one, HLA typing modules in pipeline. The template on that one is severely out of date, I think it's fair to say. And so they've been putting in some work. Stella Fraculi and co-workers have been working on dragging that particular pipeline set modules into the present day. So well done there. Okay. And from here, I'm going to hand off to Jen in New Zealand, who's going to update us on what's been happening over there.
There we go. Trying to make certain we don't cause, that's not what I meant. There we go. Trying to make certain we don't cause issues with audio looping. So we are all over the place. We continue working on our RTG tools modules. The project we got going yesterday had a whole bunch of people go, oh, we want to help with this. And we went, oh, we should probably be more organized. So we did a little bit of work just kind of fleshing stuff out, creating some issues for some next steps that we identified. And then mostly progress was made focusing on the new module that we're making for VCF filter and some struggles with implementation there. We're trying to figure out how to take a tool that some of our team find really useful and bring it to NF Core. I'm just going to run through a whole set of slides here now, some of which I know things about, some of which I don't. A couple of our team members continued or worked on viral recon in a different aspect than they were yesterday, working on the Minia module and updating it and improving the handling of some behaviors in Minia. Then I don't know what's next. It's a good question. Oh yeah, Reef was fixing some issues with pagination on the website because that's more of his background. He's very good at fixing those problems, which is great. And then I think this is Dan spent a while working on GFF read, realizing there was something wrong, working on fixing it, and then maybe started to realize that there were some branch issues. So it was a little bit extra fun.
No, that was a completely separate thing. No, that was something completely else. This is genome QC. It compares two genomes. I think it's working fine. There's some problems with the Arabidopsis thaliana genome, and either it's pulling in the wrong genome or the correct genome is wrong. But there's nothing wrong with the pipeline. Well, yeah, I'm still working on that one. I'll look into it tomorrow if I have time.
Okay, apparently I was losing track of things here. Dan was working on more than he made it sound like he was working on. Then I started doing some work on some of the JSON schema improvements, which honestly, 99% of the work I did was housekeeping. I put the instructions that were in like one of the issues into all of the issues so that it was easier to find it because I was struggling with that for myself. And then I worked on the rangeland pipeline a bit, but was running into some other issues. And so sent a couple messages asking people for help there. And then I think the other one would be that I realized when I was flipping through the slides, the updates from other time zones, that I'd been called out as having looked at some stuff to do with the Cooper ID pipeline. And I didn't realize anyone was noticing that I had poked at it. So I had to go figure out if I could contribute something useful. Sent a message to them as well. I think I mostly was repeating some work that they had done that wasn't visible yet, but did do a couple of updates just to kind of bring things up to speed that seemed to be helping. But that's mostly working over to DSL2. And so, yeah, I will probably try to mess around with that in a more productive way tomorrow. And I think that is all of our updates. I think now we're passing off to Australia.
Am I audible here? Am I coming across? Excellent. Okay, cool. So a lot of the work today was working on all the different pipelines. There's a lot of different formatting differences between all of the different folding programs. So one of them is doing generate report, harmonizing how PDB files are passed, because a lot of it was extracted straight from PDB with awk scripts. So making sure that you have consistent intermediate files on the downstream. So that also addresses point 4. There was some staging, some of the modeling files and the obsolete databases, because the deposited crystal structures get obsolete over time. So fixing how that's staged at the start. The bolts, which is the open source re-implementation of AlphaFold 3 from the MIT group, that's now been fully implemented as long as you have the MSAs already or pull them out from somewhere else. So it doesn't generate the MSAs yet, but that's the same as straight from the repository, but you can now run bolts kind of from start to finish and get a report out that way. Updating Helix Fold 3, which was the paddle Helix re-implementation of AlphaFold 3, and making it so you can address things on a command line argument rather than having to go through and change a parameter file there. And a lot of it is to do with making sure that indexes are the same and that residue counts are the same between these different programs, so that we can have a unified series of summary files so that you can generate reports based on that, because there's half a dozen different programs that all like to have different offsets. Yeah, pass on to the next one. Cool.
Okay, so update for us. We've been a lot quieter today. The sound of keys tapping is louder than discussion. The team's been busy writing up a few bash scripts to build onto the story for the training. So for both Satonics and Guy, the 2 HPCs, we've implemented a bash workflow. Yuck. Because this is sort of the thing we want to utilize Nextflow for, demonstrate the power of Nextflow and why we should be using Nextflow on HPCs, and that's sort of the baseline comparison we're trying to fix. We've also prepared some sample data to start testing these implementations. We found we were using a small test data set of chicken transcripts for a low resource path, and then we're looking at more comprehensive, larger data sets for human and mice, which is designed for configuring your pipeline on the HPC, so it requires more memory, for example. And we're in the preliminary stages of getting the configs done for both of those HPCs.
And I guess that's that brings us to the end of the day's updates. Well done, everyone. You've made a lot of progress. It's really cool to see everybody pulling together, especially since I believe it's the first year that we have like full proper representation in your part of the world. So thank you, everyone, for being really great about that. And yeah, we're looking forward to seeing what you do tomorrow. Does anybody have anything to add? If not, then, have a great rest of your day for however much you have of it. I'm going to go get some sleep, and I think Chris needs to too. So yeah, have fun and see you tomorrow.
Thanks,
Bye.
everyone.
See you tomorrow.